Good evening, everybody, and welcome to AD2L Season 12. I don't think that's right. It says 12, but that is not right. I am your host, Sequoia. I am joined this evening by two of my fellow homies in crime, Maniac and Legion. What are you guys doing on? What's going on tonight?
Well, we're just getting ready to rock some Dota 2 action here for AD2L. It's been a hot minute since we've had a chance to cast the three of us, and I'm pretty excited. How about you, Maniac?
I am very ready. It has been a couple months since we've been able to be on.
So, Lemon Snow Cones did win the last season. I don't know if you guys checked the finales or not. We weren't able to cast it because I was literally on a mountain. And the mountain was glorious, and so was Lemon Snow Cone's second victory in the AD2L. So they were pretty happy about that. So they're rounding for their trifecta in the under 3K bracket. This week it's up against Team Mittens, which is a pretty big staple in the AD2L under 3K. They usually do pretty well throughout the season. And I think they have a pretty stable roster, too. So these two teams know each other very well, and we're seeing the bans kind of come out based on how well they know each other.
Yeah, first round of bans for sure were definitely tailored. I don't know, so much the second. I guess the drought kind of... Oh,
Maniac was right.
Yeah, in the pre-show, if you were watching in client, Maniac asked if they were going to ban the Huskar. They didn't, and here he comes, third pick. I'm a little surprised to see him third instead of fourth.
10 seconds remaining.
Wouldn't you expect to kind of wait? So I mean, there's not a ton of picks here for counter Huskar. I mean, they do need a carry still. They need a mid. Physical DPS is still a thing. Wouldn't you hide that till 4? So maybe they pick I don't know, like a Lena or something like that. Somebody that's not super right, or a Queen of Pain. Like if they pick Queen of Pain right there, and then you pick the Huskar 4th, maybe in a better position. But still, I think it's a solid pickup.
Yeah, I think the only thing you have to be careful is if they decide to pick something like a Terrorblade or something like that, someone who honestly doesn't care a ton about the Huskar. But yeah, I think it's a little early, but it definitely is a good hero to go in the Clinks, that's for sure.
And it's got that Dazzle pairing, so they can go a bunch of different directions with their last support and I'm assuming that Huskar is going to be their carry, so I don't know. Does Tar play Huskar, or is this an Aegis-worn hero?
I have not seen either of them play Huskar, to be honest, so I don't know for sure. It could be either one for all I know.
And I don't remember Ziggity playing Clinks either, so it's kind of seems a little bit odd as to where people are going to go. Void is still in the pool, and they have pretty good synergy with that hero right now, and that's a Ziggity classic.
Are they going to pick the counter Void? No, they go with the PA, someone with the heavy right click for the Huskar.
And it's going to force Clinks and Huskar really to buy items in order to get rid of that evasion. So they're going to have to go, MKB or Solar Crest or some. Well, Solar Crest doesn't work like that anymore, does it? So they're going to have to go like MKB or Silver Edge.
I think that we're also going to potentially see a Silver Edge on Huskar. I think Silver Edge on Huskar is actually pretty good. The only bad thing is you have a Clinks too, so it's kind of doubling up your invis. But I don't actually mind the double invis as much. I think it forces the supports to always have the items, and you just have to be a little bit more cautious. Maybe use for more initiation than escape.
I think Silver Edge is a really good item in this game, not just because of the PA, but it also forces Abaddon if you use it on him. It also forces him to manually start his ult, which a lot of people don't realize.
Whoa, man, the Oracle's been getting lots of love, at least in my pubs he has been.
So we're doubling down on the saving the Huskar here.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? So you can either make the Huskar last almost forever, or you can make the Clinks and the Huskar last a decent while. That's a lot of defensive. So we might see a little bit maybe weaker lanes because the more defensive supports. You're not going to see a roaming support try to secure 2 out of the 3 lanes. You'll probably see either dual lanes or a triple lane, and then just rely on the other heroes to take care of their lanes themselves.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see a roamer, but you'll probably have somebody camped mid. The Night Stalker is basically going to be camped mid, right, to kind of try to help out.
Huskar is going to win almost every one-on-one matchup that he's going to go against. So you're going to expect that Night Stalker mid. So if you throw a support behind the Huskar, give him a little bit of regen and the potential to catch somebody, you could end up getting some kills there in that mid lane. So I would probably expect to see a dual lane mid, dual lane top, Ziggity off lane by himself.
Whoa.
Or we can get an Alchemist pick here. So Klink's off lane, Alch mid, Huskar safe. Is that what we're thinking?
I think so. Yeah, I think I've seen a lot more Tar Alki. Man, what do you think this is a really greedy lineup for LSE? I mean, I guess the defensive supports don't need the farm, so you're definitely doing a good distribution from between the three cores. But boy, that just seems a little
Klink's
greedy.
Doesn't really need to farm a ton. I mean, he just needs to get 6, and then he can start going around and ganking and getting kills that way. So, I mean, I think it's ambitious. It's a very ambitious lineup. How do you punish the Alchemist? How do you punish the greed, though, if you are Mittens? So you've got Night Stalker and Disruptor, so you can run at people. You've got ABBA. You've got PA, but PA is kind of a slow-rolling hero. So you need a mid that can fight fairly early. So Queen of Pain? I mean, she's not great against the Huskar, but she's got good burst damage for the Alchemist and the Klinks.
Could do something like a Razor, but go with the Dragon Knight.
Okay.
Man. I don't know. I think I kind of like Team Mittens draft slightly better. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to execute, but I will say if LSC execute their draft, I think they will do quite well.
I really don't care for the Dragon Knight last pick. He doesn't really provide what they need to deal with the Alchemist. Like, if this Alchemist gets off to a fast start, I think LSC just runs away with this game. It's going to depend on support play. Like, really, that's Mr. Peanut Butter and Mr. Bones are going to have to do a lot of work in the early game.
You'd think Mr. Bones would be Night Stalker, though. I don't know anything more just beyond his name, but I mean, it seems to fit Night Stalker a little bit better. Sorry.
Great insight into the game provided to you by Sequoia.
I actually, when we were tweeting Tar today, I was going to say something like, Legion will bring his insight, I'll bring my bad joke / puns. I'm going to count that as a joke.
So it looks like Mittens are going to smoke up here towards the top lane. There is a smoke on the Night Stalker, and they are heading up there as a team, so looking to grab up something. In the meantime, Ziggity did smoke up and place a ward in the mid lane, so a couple early game movements here coming out.
I do actually also enjoy that the math debater is Dragon Knight, only because our good friend and fellow Dota player Mathman has a small obsession with Dragon Knight as well, and I kind of enjoy that. Smoke pops out from the Mittens, and I think they're going to swoop around. They're going to try to go for this top play up here over the top rune. Who do we got over here? Or there is 3 LSC heroes camped up here, though. I think LSC might have the firepower. Smoke's revealed. Night Stalker is going to blast Sheepy down. Sheepy does get trapped in the gate. Right clicks do come out. Oracle does lock in the... but I think Huskar is going to fall. Huskar is going to go down. And actually, Ziggity probably overstayed his welcome. Going to get 1-1-2 blast as the Abaddon... Oh, Abaddon does get in range. Does start slowing him down. Gate does... Oh, just misses Ziggity. Ziggity turns around, but he ends up falling in the end. So 2 kills start for Team Mittens.
Ziggity probably could have escaped if he would have just continued to the north, but he tried to juke and ran right into that gate. So pretty unfortunate for him. They give up 2 kills there. It looks like raged. It looks like the laning setup is not going to be what I expected with the dual lanes. It looks like they're going to tri-lane this up with Sheepy, which I don't know how the supports for Mittens will go, but that could be potentially a mistake. But as I said that Aegisworn is now bottom, so I guess maybe they changed it up or changed their mind or something.
So Aegisworn is going back on the support for LSC. He was their carry last season. Snapped is back on the off lane. Sheepy does take the Huskar. Hard to pick up the Greevil's Rage, got that. North Koreans, yikes.
Some quality NA Dota all chat here.
always a good time, that's for sure. You. Gotta love that low priority. That's where the that's where the true gems in Dota live. It was a disaster. So I guess since we have some time, let's theorycraft a little bit. What are we thinking for the next patch? Who's getting the nerf hammer?
The
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker for sure.
Yep.
Earthshaker.
Yeah.
Earthshaker also. Coddle.
Yeah. All heroes I like. I don't love playing Night Stalker, but I like having him on my team.
Who else?
Nyx, likely, I would say.
Yeah, Nyx almost certainly.
Wonder if we can pull up like who the most successful heroes were at TI.
I don't know. I didn't set up a. Oh, I do have. I actually do have a browser set up in OBS. I could totally pull up Dota Buff.
Oh,
Here we go.
Oh, of course, as I try production #production value, we're back in the game. All right.
King.
How did I forget about Sand King?
Oh yeah, see, man, these are all heroes I like too. And then there are even a couple heroes I'm good with. Like, it's just sad. This is definitely a good patch for me. But enough about my poor 2K scrubness. Let's get back to some under 3K action.
So it does look like they are going to 2-1-2 for LSC, but they sent the support to the off lane instead of to the mid lane. Alchemist should win this lane. I know that, Dragon Knight has a lot of really good advantages with the Dragon Blood, but as long as Tar levels up some Acid Spray, he should be more than able to win this lane.
Clinks and Dazzler are doing work down here. No other support is rotated down from Mittens yet. I think Sheepy's in a bit of trouble in the top lane, though. Mr. Peanut Butter going to start putting down the right clicks. And there's the Abaddon with another kill going to Team Mittens. I was going to say first blood, and then the pause just screwed up, and I realized that was actually the third blood.
I think it's a pretty great decision to have the aggressive tri-lane for Mittens. I would probably prefer to see the PA and Abaddon switch lanes, though. PA is going to kind of have a rough go of it against the dual. Well, I guess they've rotated the heroes, but even against just the Twinks, she's going to have kind of a rough go of it.
Wow, Dazzle actually almost died in that. He just took a ton of damage.
That's why you don't want to stand in the middle of a creep wave, friends. Those things hurt.
They do. Especially when you're mid lane.
Yeah. Got that extra creep. I think that mid laners are probably going to see a bit of a nerf as well. At least some of the popular ones like Queen of Pain and Puck. That early experience gain has made that lane just so crazy, and those snowbally, like, run all over the place and get kill heroes have really been able to take advantage.
Well, it's kind of crazy too, because you could say in some aspects that your mid laner winning is way more important than your carry, which is kind of nuts. And that's how some other
grabbed that haste rune and did some really great harass damage on the Tar.
So does the Oracle Purge instantly get rid of that shield?
It does.
Okay, I actually didn't know that. So
I don't know if it procs the shield or if it just dispels the shield.
It looks like it's exploding, so it must explode with whatever damage has already been done to it.
Yeah.
I would imagine. That's the cool thing about Dota. There's so many interactions, you just never guess them all. Wow, Tar is insanely low in this mid lane. He's getting some tangos, but boy, he is hurting quite a bit.
He's actually kind of losing this lane pretty bad for only 3 minutes in. I'm a little surprised that Dragon Knight has been able to do as much as he's been able to do.
I think he's been hitting him a lot with those Dragon Breaths, and then also the one rotation from Night Stalker helped bring down that life quite a bit. And he's just getting so many whacks in. He's going to have to be really careful here. No man on Dragon Knight, so Tar should be able to make it out of it, but takes a ton of right clicks. And then on the other side, Abaddon takes quite a few from that Oracle. That Oracle attack animation's ridiculous. PA got a little aggressive on Kling, sent him walking. Probably wishing the well was back online, but not 5 minutes yet. So
he's still got a ton of regen. He's got a salve and 3 tangos, so he really should just pop the salve like now. Sitting, you never want to sit low in a lane, so he either needs to like eat the tangos earlier or he needs to pop that salve.
I think Tar is in a ton of trouble. Night Stalker is on the prowl. He is bottling up as much as he can. He's gonna go for the TP. Oh, and he makes it away. Dragon Knight didn't quite get there. Didn't see him. Oh man. Good reaction.
The worst feeling ever is when you like walk right by and then you see and then you get like back there and then he's gone. Like, oh.
That's a really smart move by Tar there though, to instead of trying to just panic and run away, to run farther in and hide in TP.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because if he tried to run, he was dead. And so he definitely saved them from getting another kill. And in some aspects, he filled up his bottle, so it wasn't too bad. Dragon Knight does throw down the ult, though, start beating into Tar. Tar won't die from it, but he's going to take a decent amount of right clicks. And now, Dragon Knight's going to start laying into the building. This math debater is definitely singing a good math song on this lane.
Say that 3 times as fast as you can.
Math debater? No.
Oh, now Oracle's in some trouble top lane.
Oracle starts getting beat down by the forces of the Radiant, but does get a nice grave from Dazzle. He might actually live this. He's trying to hide. Abaddon's hunting him down, sees it, and throws down the Mist Coil. It ends up finishing him off.
Kind of ran in a weird direction again. I think if he would have just gone back through his jungle, he would have been fine, but he overthought it a little bit and tried to run towards the side shop.
I think it's one of those things too, like you sometimes forget about things like Mist Coil. You're like, oh, I can outrun him. Oh yeah, that whole nuke damage. So looks like the Dragon Knight ult did expire. Tar is starting to catch up. Dragon Knight had, last time I looked at the CS, he had almost double Tar's CS. Now Tar's only 9 behind, so pretty good follow-up from Tar. He's gonna need it too. Gonna pick up some bounty runes, get that double gold.
It's a little bit of a... I think that's an efficiency mistake. You don't actually get a lot... I don't know. How much gold is he pulling off of these things?
Ooh, Disruptor Cake's quite a bit of damage.
Huskar
is going to start laying down the pain, and Mist Coil is going to give him the heal, though, forcing the Huskar to back off. Mr. Peanut Butter does have to rotate in, and now Sheepy's actually hurting himself quite a bit. I don't think there's anything they can do about it, though, as the Abaddon just doesn't have the damage for him yet. And that Huskar, he may look weak and low, but boy, you don't want to underestimate him.
Yeah, so I think if you're anyone but the Alchemist, that's an efficiency mistake to walk and collect those. But you see it happen all the time in pubs and lower level matches where the carry's just like, I'm going to go get bounties because it's free gold, and you miss like 4 or 5 creeps, and you're not making the money enough money to make it worth it. But Alchemist just made 300 gold off 2 bounties, so I think that's actually probably pretty
is that? Oh, I thought it was actually less gold than that. So it's
because he gets the bonus.
Okay, so wow.
He gets bounty runes give him 2.5 times their normal gold. So
it's pretty good.
Okay, bottom lane.
Ooh.
Cagestorm just gets chunked down by those crits coming out from the PA. And Sheepy's in trouble top lane now. The gate was up. Do they have a glimpse back? They do.
He's
can't quite get in range.
He's
it's
just
only level 1.
Just out of range. Nice Oracle to lock in the Abaddon, and that should get him out of there. I can never remember the stupid Oracle abilities. The Purge, Fortune's End. Alchemist ult and Dragonite ult up at the same time in mid lane. It's just a giant party over there.
And he's almost got the armlet, so maybe a tad slow, but considering the struggles that he seemed to have early game, not too bad having a 9-minute probably. Oh no, it's on its way now, so like an 8:40.
Tar is getting gone now. The Dragonite's starting to beat into him, but no more mana for the Dragonite, so Tar should make it out of this one. Mittens calling for a pause, has some mic issues.
Night Stalker wants to go on Snapped, but he doesn't have any points in Crippling Fear, so Snap should just be able to casually walk away from this.
He's got a ton of mana, too. He could potentially 860. God, man, Clinks has no health. Oh, my gosh. I didn't realize how squishy he was.
No, he needs level 6. Once he gets level 6 and he can start eating creeps, then that's where he starts to become a problem.
So Tar is, kind of as expected, head of the net worth being on the Alchemist. However, the Dragonite's only about 500 gold behind him, which, when you're an Alchemist, that's not where you want the other mid laner.
No, but once he has... Now that he's got this armlet, it's going to allow him to trade hits more effectively. He's going to have higher armor, higher damage. He's going to be able to leave it on permanently when he's got Chemical Rage up. That plus the 4 points in the armor reduction acid spray are going to allow him to stand in the lane a little bit more. I think he's had to be kind of cautious up to this point, but he can kind of YOLO it up a little bit now.
He's got a ton of CS out of that creep wave, too.
The Dazzle heal helped the Alchemist by giving him some HP, but it did remove some of the possibility for him to get a couple of those creep kills, so a little unfortunate.
Oh, I think Sheepy is going to get a kill here. Yep, does end up picking off the Disruptor. Might actually get some good damages on this Abaddon too, but he's getting very low himself, so he's going to have to be very careful. Doesn't want to force a rotation from that PA and get just single hit and end up losing a tower.
And the Abaddon's almost level 6 here, so he's... Yeah, and with the Bounty Rune, he is level 6, so he's going to be able to just kind of run in and do whatever he wants now. He can have no fear against this Huskar. All in all, a little bit of a slow start here for LSC, but it's not too bad, right? I mean, it's only like 1,000 gold lead for Mittens, as Mr. Peanut Butter is kind of charging in here, being a little crazy. He wants that rune. Actually is going to get it, but he's going to trade his life for it, so not worth.
No, I think he kind of thought he was caught out there, so he might as well. Abaddon does end up using the Shrine, so he'll get back to full health, full mana for this. I think they want to make up a call on Sheepy here. Sheepy actually goes in on the Disruptor. Disruptor's going to throw the gate down to counterattack. Does end up putting the glyph down, and now this Dragonite is here, stuns the Oracle, and this will be a very, very dead Oracle.
Yeah, Oracle's probably going to die there anyway, but he got the kill, so maybe somewhat kind of worth. Also, space created for Tar in the mid lane here, so definitely could still be worse. I mean, it's 1,000 gold lead for Mittens, like I was saying, but the LSC lineup is kind of meant to be a little bit slow roller. Like, they need some farm, at least till they get the Clinks and the Huskar, like their first item. Huskar needs his armlet. Clinks probably needs the Orchid.
Oh, we're seeing all sorts of rotations come here in the top lane. Glintz does come out on Sheepy, but doesn't really do much, so...
Nice deny on that tower. Sheepy is 6, but there's too many heroes up here. Huh.
Looks like the PA crit down the Clinks in the bottom lane. I did not see that, but...
Yeah, I didn't either. He's only got level 1 Skeleton Walk, so he probably just came out a little bit too soon and got jumped on.
Tar's going to get this tower in the mid lane, though. Throws down the ult, throws down the armlet. Mr. Peanut Butter hanging around for the deny. We'll see if Tar gives it to him or not. Does not have any stuns, so Mr. Peanut Butter actually taking a decent amount of damage here, though. Dazzle actually comes in there. He might get the kill with the acid spray. Oh, Mr. Bones does end up going down to the poison. Now Mr. Peanut Butter's in all sorts of trouble, though. Abaddon shield comes in. Dragonite actually follows it up. Tar's going to come in here with a stun and gets 2! There goes the Abaddon. It is fallen, and now Dragonite doesn't know what to do and is going to have to back up, and the tower falls down. That was a very nice win for LSC, taking a nice 1,000 net worth advantage in that fight.
Ziggity is just acting like a madman, just trusting that Aegisworn was going to be there with the Grave, just runs all the way in behind the tower, looking for that kill, gets Graved at the last second, and then Snapped is able to come in and get a kill that he pretty desperately needs at this point. Like, he's not doing exceptionally well.
And it looks like they do have some camps stacked up for Tar, so he's going to start going to the jungle now that that mid tower is down and start claiming those. Mr. Peanut Butter has nighttime up. He is level 6. Oracle's actually really... Oh, never mind. That's Huskar. I thought he was another player, so never mind.
They actually only had one camp stacked for Tar, and with that, how much that Dazzle was moving around, I think it would have been a lot better if he would have been stacking throughout those rotations, because they could have really accelerated the Alki through that.
The ward position for both teams is kind of interesting too. Choosing really passive observers on both sides really feels like, especially for Mittens, I heard a stun.
Dragon Knight stunned Tar Illusion. Now Tar's actually going to wall up on the Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight armor is very, very high though. Have very little effect on him. Dragon Knight will probably try to get a couple more right clicks on Tar, but the Chemical Rage will heal that up, no problem.
But you would think, especially for Mittens with the Night Stalker, that they'd want to get deeper vision up.
And instead, they only have one ward, and it's kind of a safe ward.
Try to protect rotations for the PA.
Well, Mr. Peanut Butter... Nope, he will not see the rune. The rune actually comes top lane. Dragon Knight's going to go for it. He will collect a double damage rune. Tar's getting another easy camp picked up. Looks like this Dragon Knight wants to finish this tower. Clinks is going to go for the deny, but not fast enough. Those smacks from the sword were too great for Mr. Clinks.
With that small camp, Tar now has his relic, so he's going to have Radiance online here real fast. And that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, none of the heroes really for Mittens want to
buy anything that's going to deal with evasion. The PA could eventually buy MKB, but she's definitely not going to want to do that early. Silver Edge is a possibility for sure also on Math Debater, but that wouldn't cancel out Radiance. So it would cancel out Greevil's Greed and the Huskar Berserker's Blood,
which is definitely the most important of the three. But
yeah, it looks like Abaddon's got a long ways to go for that Radiance too.
Yeah, he elected to go for Midas, and I didn't see exactly when that he got it, but it's 15 minutes, so I
think it was a little bit slow.
Well, both mid towers are gone for both teams. Both other tier 1s are actually sitting pretty strong for Mittens. Tier 1 down over there. Huskar's actually going to go on Abaddon, but the ult is going to come up and fully heal him back up to full.
Yeah, and that's the thing with that Abaddon. Once he hits 6, he doesn't care about Huskar, because Huskar jumps on and gets him down to
the breaking point for that ult, and those Flaming Spears basically going to heal him to full no matter what. Like, there's no just like, oh, I'll just not hit you for a while. Like,
do you think? I mean, Huskar's got to be going a Silver Edge this fight, right?
It looks like he's going to pick up Treads first, but yeah, I would imagine
Silver Edge is going to be a pretty important item.
Reman Smoke coming out from...
Yeah, they're going to go in the mid lane. Maybe find this Dazzle, which if your LSC is not the biggest of deals.
Well,
actually,
they
a mass TP in here, but
Huskar
Static Storm.
Really nice Static Storm blocks the Huskar from doing a whole lot. Dragon Knight's sitting pretty far up still, though.
Tar has Radiance, and he wants to wrap on this.
Here comes Tar. Tar comes in, going to get a nice stun out. Stuns 2. Mr. Peanut Butter in the front line ends up getting the ult off on the Huskar, and Huskar just laying down pain. Going to wipe out all 3 heroes from Team Mittens. And now I think the push down mid is going to happen, and the Huskar gets healed up from that Oracle ult.
That was pretty much exactly what LSC needed here. Like, they give up the Dazzle kill, which isn't, you know, like I said, it's not the biggest of deal. He gave up 200 gold, but then the timing is absolutely perfect with the Radiance, the rotations in there. They pick up 3 kills,
and it's just a great opportunity for them to like pick up some map control here, which they've kind of conceded some of theirs so they can pick up these items. So if you can even the score now, that's going to be huge for LSC.
Yeah, I think LSC is kind of at where they want to be in the game right now, especially with the radiance up on Tar. I don't think Abaddon's anywhere near his. It's going to be quite a while before he sees that Tar is just exploding in net worth now. Almost has 4,000 gold ahead of the Dragon Knight. The one thing that Team Mittens does have, though, is they have the next top heroes in the net worth. So if the PA is able to get some good crits, or they're able to pull... Oh, actually going to get some damage on Tar, but Mr. Bones, I don't think you actually want to fight this. Run away, Disruptor! Disruptor does end up the ult, but Tar's going to get the kill before... Oh, yep, there it goes. And Mathebator just can't hit this Alchemist. There's the evasions all over the place. Here comes Huskar. Going to come in there and just lay down with the ult. PA's here now, too, but Mr. Cheeseman, does end up picking off the PA at the very end there. Now the Abaddon comes in there. Ult's going to heal him up quite a ways, and now Tar's going to start backing out in the bottom part of the lane here. And probably
that fight would have been absolutely perfect if it was about 10 seconds later, because the Oracle ult was still on cooldown when that fight started. So that long 100 duration ult just slightly mistimed on that fight. But still, 3 for 1. I think you're pretty happy with that if you're LSC.
And they got that tower.
And they're going to get a bottom tower, most likely, too. Snap's double damaged up. Smacking on that.
Oh, yeah, that's...
So it was a little bit of a rough early game for LSC, but their lineup is definitely hitting its stride in the mid game, and it's going to be really tough for Mittens to deal with this and farm and get into the late game. If they can get to the late game, I think they'll be set up okay, but they didn't really seem to get as many objectives as they needed to off of their early game wins.
PA does have Deso, so she'll be able to do some good burst damage, but, you know, as we kind of saw in that last team fight, she's very susceptible to her own burst damage as well, and boy, there's a lot of that.
It does look like the Mittens are going to set up for the late game, as Mr. Peanut Butter's got a Midas queued up here, and he's going to be able to buy it right now, so 20-minute Midas is basically saying, like, I expect this game to go another 30 to 40 minutes if we want to win it.
I think that's probably the right call. I think the only risk there is, you know, you probably won't have another item for your defense, and that's going to be a very...
Oh, yeah. The risk is definitely that the game ends early, and, you know, they've got 2 heroes with Midas. Abaddon is slowly getting towards this relic. So, I mean, he's about 1,000 gold away from it. The thing is like, is LSC going to keep the pressure up? They've got Orchid on snaps. If they can keep the pressure up, they can continue to take towers and good fights. Mittens is definitely kind of sliding on the back foot now.
Snaps is just kind of watching these heroes over in the bottom lane farm a little bit. I don't think he can solo kill Dragon Knight. Be a pretty intense fight.
It's almost certainly
Disruptor's going to get ran down by Mr. Tar. This Alchemist is just scary as none other. Abaddon's going to pop the ult and then beam out, and I don't think there's anything Tar can do about it. No.
They had 3 people up there, too, because PA was up there with them and had to TP out because she was very low.
I mean, at this
point...
point...
This is exactly what you want to do if you're LSC. Gather up as 4, let the Clinks do its own thing, and just push buildings, because I don't think there's a whole lot that Mittens can do unless they have 5 and all their ults up. Disruptor ult is down.
Tar almost has his an Octarine now.
Wow, he's just skipped the Manta altogether, so... Wants to just tank up before he starts going for that illusion farm. Oh, he's trapped. The Night Stalker's trapped up top, and now they got a ward up there for him. A little bit of a unfortunate situation there.
How do you... Oh, he flew, that's why.
Yeah, Hunter in the Night
ended at the perfectly wrong time for him to be up there. Maybe he was thinking, like, I'll stay here because they don't have vision up here, and they just plopped the ward down. Ended that dream.
Man, it's probably good that he died as fast as he did. I kind of thought Tar would just sit next to him and watch him burn. That's the worst. Absolute worst.
Mathebator does get out of there, TPs. At a perfect time. Tried to put a little pressure on the bottom tower and did, but not able to trade.
Tar's net worth is out of control. It's
over twice the next person.
This is nuts. And then the crazy thing is the Abaddon is now ahead on Team Mittens, the offlaner. Like, that's not what you want to see. And he is probably about a minute off from having his relic if he gets some of these neutral camps. So he's making great progress on his relic. It's just, boy, I mean, what's the relic going to do against this alchemist that just runs at you and you just scream?
And the great thing about this alchemist is that even if he 6 slots himself, there are 3 heroes on his team that can use Aghanim's. Two of them are really, really good. The other one is potentially situationally okay.
Oh god, they see the Dragon Knight here. He is still just getting beat on. Mr.
Tar standing under the tower.
Mr. Cheeseman's trying to hit him. Going to boot the Chemical Rage. Try to get another stun off. Cheeseman is evade, hit, evade. Oh, he's going to get burned down, though. He's just going to keep running, and then Tar runs him down. Now back to the other fight. We have lots of action going here. Night Stalker ends up getting a kill, but now I think Tar is going to watch that Dragon Knight finally burn. Clinks does fall in the end, but 4 for 1, which LSC takes a commanding lead.
Tar got that PA kill, but they basically traded the Clinks kill for that, which is probably okay. They still massively win that fight in terms of golden experience.
They're just going to go for tier 3s.
I mean, why not? Like, Tar is probably immortal at this point.
Yeah, I think they can just take a lane, take the shrines, maybe a Roche, and just end it. They could probably just walk through each lane and end it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this Huskar is just going to start making mincemeat of these supports. I mean, Mr. Peanut Butter almost dies just from the Huskar ult. Oh, he ends up dying. He actually got enough spears on him. He ends up going down. PA starts throwing out daggers, but the crit gods are not shining upon PA at all. And if this Huskar wants to, I have a feeling that he could just start going at... Abaddon starts going in, but Huskar goes go in on this PA, and Mr. Cheeseman is going to fall very fast. Huskar might go down in this. He's getting low, Oh, not quite. Oh, ends up finally going down. But boy, this Tar, he is not going down. Full health. Dragon Knight ends up buying back. Tries to do something. Chemical Rage does pop out. Oh, he's going to get silenced. Probably going to stun himself. And now this Dragon Knight's going to get beat on Oracle. Oh, man. Ziggity actually ends up pulting out the ult. Gonna TP back to base, and now it's the Tar show. Chemical Rage comes out. Tar starts to... Oh, is he gonna burn? Is he gonna burn? Ah! Oh, I thought the creep was gonna have it. The uphill miss. And now Tar is just gonna go back to doing what Tar does best and eat some creeps and then run away. I thought he was gonna go for the racks.
Yeah, pretty insane fight. Ziggity could have saved the Huskar, but instead he used the Purifying Flame to pick up the kill on Math Debater. I saw like the skill go up, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, he's gonna have a good save here." And he actually picks up the kill steal instead.
They want this kill on the Clinks. Cheeseman's going in, but Clinks is gonna TP out. There's nothing they can do about it, and he's out.
Tar's finished his Manta.
Oh my gosh, he is so fat.
Yeah, it comes down like to this Alchemist pick, and I thought with the Night Stalker that they'd be able to really contest the mid lane, and Dragon Knight did really well against him for the first like 8 to 10 minutes, but after that, Alchemist just kind of took off. There were no rotations into the mid lane by the supports. They focused almost completely on the Huskar, who was, I mean, kept down for a long time, but then this Alchemist just became unstoppable and created space for Huskar, and things just kind of snowballed out of control from there.
Radiant's bottom shrine attack.
Yeah, this is, oh, Jesus, Manta's already online. Tar could start handing out scepters if he wanted to now.
Well, he could still get rid of his bottle here. Pick up like an Assault Cuirass or a Heart or something.
Well, the Huskar just soloed against a PA and a Disruptor.
And then, like Maniac said, they're going to walk into the Roshan pit here.
They've already collected the shrines.
Probably give this to Sheepy. The Alk. Okay, no. Okay, yeah. Alk went. Tar went in there like he's gonna pick it up, and I was like, dude, you can't die already. Like, you don't need that.
I say, man, that's the most greedy. That's so greedy, Tar.
You almost have the net worth of 3 of the Radiant heroes by yourself.
Oh my gosh.
A little bit of rat coming out here from Math Debater. Forced to TP out from Tar. Really wants this tower kill. He is not gonna get it. The deny comes out.
I don't know how he got that deny.
So Abaddon has his Radiance now, but does that matter? Is that enough to delay this long enough?
It's gonna help.
I don't think so.
But boy, like, one item, I mean, I think Cheeseman only has his Vlad's online. He's just so poor.
So they're gonna miss 17% of their tags. So they're gonna miss, like, if you give round up, they're gonna miss like 1 out of every 5. I think 4 out of every 5 attacks is more than enough to get this done, especially when you consider the magic damage coming out from like the burning spears, and you've got the physical damage coming out from Shadow Wave and Purifying Flames and their own Radiance. Like, I think that definitely makes up for the 17% of stuff they're not going to hit.
Oh, and now comes the Huskar. Abaddon ult is going to get fully activated, start doing his thing, but the ult is going to go down fast, and then his life is going to start going down. Sheepy has an excellent grave up on the Huskar now, and Huskar might end up going down, but remember, that's just the Aegis. He will be coming back in just a little minute, and now Cheeseman gets ran down by that Alchemist burn, and here comes the Huskar again. You start going to take down supports. Mr. Bones is going to try to get out, but he is not. Dragonite has so much health, but it doesn't matter. There's so much damage on him. Cheeseman buys back, but what's he going to do? Everyone up on LLC is almost full health except the Huskar. He tries to get the Huskar, but he's just not strong enough. He just doesn't have the damage. The crits come out now, but now is not when he wants the crits. He wanted them on the Huskar, but the Oracle's just sitting in the back healing the Huskar back to full health. And now the racks. Oh, the racks are falling. I think Team Mittens is going to go in for one more hurrah, and here they come. They start putting in. The Disruptor just starts taking a ton of damage, and now Mr. Peanut Butter is going to fall. Now Abaddon does have it all. He's going to get charged back up, but Sheepy's just going to start piling more spears on him. His health's going to start coming down, and now they're going to go back to the racks. Don't want to dive in too much. I don't know where this PA came from. Sits in the back line, and they're just like, yeah, I don't know how you got there, but we're going to take care of you, and now we're going to go to this top racks.
PA tried to go for the Oracle and the Dazzle and the back lines, and both of them just TP'd straight out.
Yeah, I mean, that fight went about as perfectly as it could for Mittens, too. They got, like, at least 3, maybe 4 in the Static Storm gate at the beginning of that, and it's still just not enough as Tar just farmed the crap out of this game and was definitely the reason that they won. Like, he created so much space for the Huskar and Clinks. Everybody struggled for LSC in the early game, but it turned out to not matter after that Armlet and that Radiance came out on the mid lane Alchemist.
Oof. Well, guys, that was only game 1. We got one more to go. So we're going to go to a quick little break, let the teams get back in the lobbies. We'll get game 2 up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, look at those graphs. Dead even at 20 minutes.
Game 2 is up in this AD2L under 3K group stage match. I am Sequoia. I have along with me Maniac and Legion 17. We just had a commanding game from Lemon Snowcone showing off the power of the farming tar. So far, a significantly different draft, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely
a little bit more fight heavy for both teams, really. And I thought Mitten's last game had a pretty fight heavy lineup. They just didn't really fight a whole lot. They tried to kind of farm with the Alchemist, and they did a really good job for 20 minutes. We were talking about it after Game 1 cut out, and we went to a break. The game was dead even at 20 minutes. And then in the 10 minutes after that, they managed to rack up 30,000 gold and about 20,000 experience. So just what happens when you have that Alchemist that kind of snowballs out of control. This game, we don't have the Alchemist pickup. I would be fairly surprised if we saw it with the Void. But I guess you never know.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not... I mean, I guess you have the Radiance Burn, so even if you don't get the perfect Chronosphere, you can still get some damage, but I'd probably say we're more likely to see a lot more ranged heroes, especially with the 2 melee heroes we have so far.
And as we look at things here for the first 2 picks from both teams, I like LSC's picks better. You know, you were talking about before, like if Ricky and Kunkka are both supports, that's a pretty greedy, like, support duo. Like, there's a lot of offense there and almost no defense. Like, you've got Cloud, and maybe if you can place a well-placed Gush, you can defend it. But both these heroes kind of want to do the same thing. They want to roam the map. They want to cause chaos. They want to pressure lanes. They're not really that sit back in a lane and defend. So they're going to need to either place this Kunkka in a situation where he's a core, or they're going to have to pair these supports with a hero that can stand essentially on their own in the safe lane.
Yeah, what do you think about the Kunkka core? I don't really like Kunkka core. I think he's a very weak core.
I think it can work, especially at like amateur levels of play. Like in the professional scene, you don't see it a whole lot because you can really punish the Kunkka early. It's hard for amateur teams to do that. So I think that it's definitely a possibility here. I don't think it's super likely, but you never know. Like the nice thing about that pick is that it's just flexible enough to give you the option, right? Like if you feel that like we're going to need a defensive support, and with the Axe pickup, you're probably going to need a defensive pickup, you can do so.
Oof. Snapped Axe, so must be a safe lane Void. So I'm going to assume we'll probably see a pretty damage hero on the mid lane from LSC. I can't imagine they wouldn't do anything like that. So maybe someone with a lot of burst and right click, something like Alina. I think.
So last game Sheepy played the carry. Do you think that they swapped the roles for Sheepy and Ziggity in this game because they do have the Void? And I mean, we've seen how crazy good Ziggity can play on that hero.
Yeah, I think they'll absolutely switch. I'd be surprised if they don't. Definitely could happen, but I'd be pretty surprised. I think that's one thing they definitely have is special. Oh wow, so it is a core Kunkka. I like the Shadow Shaman Ricky support duo significantly more than the Kunkka Ricky.
I think this is forced out explicitly by the Axe pick. Like, Axe basically is a run-at-you hero. He doesn't care who's there. Like, you're going to have someone specifically to deal with him. Shadow Shaman can do that because he's got the Hex and he's got Shackles. So, Axe runs into the tower, Hex him up, takes a couple hits, shackle him up, you can get a kill. You know, if it's Ricky Kunkka, what are they going to do? You try to hit him, he counter-helixes and kills like 3 heroes. So, it's definitely a thing that the Axe pickup forces out.
Boy, do I love this AA pick right now, though. Like, you'll have tracks, you'll know where they are. The Void should be able to, the Faceless should be able to get a pretty decent Void, or the Axe get a nice call, set up for the AA ult. Pretty good setup. Actually, you know what? I like that pick quite a bit too.
Yeah, as long as the Medusa doesn't get called or chronoed, she's able to basically reset any fight.
I do like the pick. I'm a little bit worried about Axe Void combo on LFC, but these are two really big comfort heroes for their team, so they should be able to probably make it work.
Yeah, I really like that Medusa pick. She definitely brings a lot. I mean, really, LSC is like these pretty well set up team fights, and Medusa, if she's not caught out, like you were saying, she can help really turn the fights when they start going towards in LSC's favor. I think that the only problem is she does take a little long to come online, but the advantage is so does the Void, so I think that'll actually be pretty good for her.
I do think that the Void can somewhat deal with her though, because during the international,
you cut out
which I think will. I don't know why.
Not talking loud now.
You said something very insightful and important. I just didn't.
Actually, I could hear him in the other room. He was talking about how Voids during the international started to build diffusal blades and Manta styles. So, you can really burn down the Medusa if you catch her in the Chronosphere, which is a great point. The point that I would like to make for the Kunkka is the fact that Kunkka is actually really good against the Void as well. So they've kind of got two ways to deal with the Chronosphere. You can get the boat in there, the torrents, and you've got the Medusa ult, so they should potentially have some saves. I like both lineups. I think this is a pretty even draft when all things are said and done.
Yeah, I think I just don't really like Murata right now. I think she takes too long to come online, and I don't know if she's going to DPS enough in the early phase. I think it's going to be up to Axe, and I'm not sure if he's going to be enough. And if Invoker has a decent lane, but by the way, I just keep getting distracted. That is a badass Kunkka set.
I mean, I don't think Murata is great. I probably would have gone a different way with the pick. But at the same time, we kind of agreed that Kunkka core isn't very good either. So I think that the strengths and weaknesses for both lineups are kind of even.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give either side a significant advantage. I think it'll come down to execution.
And we have a little BSOD action over.
It happens because Windows garbage.
Aww, poor Windows. Just Windows can never get a break.
Well, if they just fix their shit.
But they have another creators update coming out, so you can create more. Hey, you could buy a Mac for $5,000, and it's 5 years old already, but it would work.
And then I'd never play Dota again, which I don't know. That might be beneficial for me.
You'd miss us.
We just switched to Linux. Let's everybody, all Dota players, we're gonna switch to Linux as a group. We're gonna force Valve to make Dota Linux great again.
I thought Dota was on Linux.
It is on Linux.
Okay.
I don't know how great it is, but it's on Linux.
Windows, please.
Wouldn't be competitive Dota without some delays.
I was going to start talking about Linux, and I realized I'm probably the only one that really would like to know my my excitement about Linux, so I decided to just leave it at that. But I'm actually really excited for next April in Ubuntu, which is actually kind of funny to say. But, you know what else I'm also excited for? 22 majors and minors in the professional arena. I think that is going to be pretty cool. And
so will 2 new heroes.
Yeah, do we know anything about the new heroes yet?
Not really.
Nope, not really.
The one looks like the hag from Han. I mean, obviously the hag was Queen of Pain, so it's not, but it kind of looked like her, I thought.
One looks like an armadillo.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So back to our... we talked about who's getting nerfed. Who's getting buffed?
Well, there were, 5 heroes that were not picked at all at Team?
Bane? Abaddon? Was Abaddon one of them? I know Bane was one.
Tiny, Wraith King. I don't remember the other 2.
I would love to see a Wraith King buff.
He needs a buff.
I think he is my most played hero when he was good, and I have not been able to play him because he's not been good.
Lion and Spectre were the other two heroes.
Yeah.
Lion actually fairly surprising.
The problem with the Lion is, like, I mean, and I've debated this with Mathman more than once, and like even in our game last night, he picked him as the captain. He's such a weak laner. Like, I couldn't do anything in lane with Lion. Like, you would hit, I don't remember who we were against in lane, but like I threw so much right clicks at him. Oh, we were against the Legion Commander. Legion Commander didn't care. Didn't give a crap at all. Like, yeah, he can stun and drain mana, but that you're not ever gonna kill anyone with Lion. I don't know how you fix that though. Like, I think the meta is gonna have to change to more defensive supports versus like trying to get kill supports.
I mean, if Lion's 6, he can kill.
Yeah, at 6, yes.
I think that the problem with Lion isn't necessarily that he can't kill early. It's the fact that the meta is more push intensive, and he doesn't really contribute anything there. Shadow Shaman's skill set is essentially the same as Lion's, except he's got those wards that can push.
I think Shadow Shaman's
picked up a decent
amount. I think Shadow Shaman's better. I think his ability set's a little better. I think the mana drain and the Earth Spike are a little weak when you compare the abilities. Yeah, the mana drain is super nice, but it's not terribly hard to interrupt. And it may or may not actually help you, because if in the early game you could just buy a couple mangoes and then just use the mangoes when you need them. Like, so yeah, you may not ever have mana unless you're going to get a kill, but if a smoke gank comes, if your allies bring up a smoke gank or something like that, then you can just have mangoes on standby, and then you'll still have the mana required for what you need, plus you get the health regen, which is kind of nice in the off lane. And I think there's Spike. It takes almost level 3 before it's a reasonably long spike, and the damage isn't very high. So I think they're both a little bit on the weaker side, versus Shadow Shaman. His shackles hurt so much. It's not AoE, and
you
it's
also
channeling.
have to stand there while you cast it.
But a lot of people don't do anything, especially if it's a solo lane. Like, what are you going to do against it? I mean, it's crazy how often that, like, yeah, you can just stun him and it breaks it, but a lot of people don't do it. And the cooldown on that...
We're talking about the power of the heroes, not what people do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, in a perfect world, someone's going to interrupt that spell.
Yeah. Right? But the nice thing is,
if you're talking about what people do, people are going to interrupt that. Like,
but you also have 2 stuns, too. You can stun one person and then get your shackle off on someone else. The Earth Spike
does too.
The Earth Spike, the stun duration is just so short. The best thing about Lion is his mana costs aren't as high as Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman's
it's a 2.5 second stun.
At level 3,
for a
castable,
isn't it? At level 4, it's 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, I was talking earlier levels.
As a castable stun, though, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not bad at higher levels, but early levels, it's very weak. Like, you really you have to buff that ability. Like, if you don't, and, if it's level, you're in level 7 or 8, it's basically a worthless ability. You have to level that. So then, yeah, you'll have one level to Hex, and it's probably one of the best level 1 stuns in the game, I would say. But, again, mana drain's, not great early levels, but you can't really level it. You have to level Earth Spike, just because Earth Spike scales way higher than the rest of them.
If mana drain's not good early, you're not gonna level it, right? Like, that's kind of the function of the hero. With Shadow Shaman, you're gonna make choices there too.
Yeah,
I think the difference in the heroes is one is more like single target burst, and the other is push, and pushes more in right now.
I just think Shadow Shaman's significantly more versatile. Because I think, he can push. He doesn't have to push. He doesn't do a lot of singles target damage, but he pars up with cores that do really good single target damage really well. If you have like a PA or something like that, you get even a small amount of your shackle. Oh my god, that hero's dead, especially if no one's there to support him. With Lion, even if you blow both stuns, the PA may not get the kill. But I think Shadow Shaman will probably get a little bit of a nerf. I don't know if Lion... I think Lion needs a buff, but I don't know what you would do. What's weird to me is Bane really a bad hero? Is it the alt channeling that why people aren't picking him?
I think it's the fact that you can dispel the ult.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't think of that. That actually makes a lot of sense. So if they changed that and made it because they have the different forms of dispel. If they made it only available on a strong dispel, would Bane be a strong hero? Is that all he's missing?
I think that would be part of it. I don't know that that's all that is missing because I'm not a professional Dota player. I think he can play Bane at lower levels, but
I think that's a big way to strengthen the hero.
I'm not sure what else he really needs.
I really like Bane against certain lineups, but it's definitely more in the pub scene. If you have if the pub, you see pubs see a lot of Spirit Breaker, but they don't like to play supports. They like to play a offlane Spirit Breaker. Bane just freaking destroys Spirit Breaker. Like there's nothing he can do against him. It's just crazy. Like Bane has such good high armor and high health regen and decent attack damage early. Like you just put one level of Enfeeble, and Spirit Breaker basically does nothing, and you just sit there and beat on him. Fall back when the creeps come there, and I mean, I've done it so many times, it's insane how well it works. You just, you don't obviously pros realize that Spirit Breaker is not a good offlaner, so you don't see that in the pros. It's kind of crazy to me though that Tiny wasn't picked at all. I didn't know that.
I think Tiny's a pretty bad hero right now.
I mean, honestly, he's not a great right clicker. He's got magic burst, but he takes a lot of farm to be able to get it off. Craggy is kind of an
ability. He basically requires an IO partner in order to do anything.
So. Yeah, I don't disagree with anything. He's one of those heroes I didn't really think of that being bad, but I definitely never pick him. Nor do I I can't even remember the last time I suggested someone play Tiny. So, obviously, it's not hot in my mind, that's for sure. Do you think Gyrocopter's going to get a buff? Like, he was so good in TI5, and he just seems so lackluster right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume so. I would assume, usually it's, the top, 10% of heroes get, a significant nerf, and the bottom 10% of heroes get a fairly significant buff, and then everybody else gets tweaked in between.
So what hero do you just want to get nerfed or buffed, not depending on picks?
Not necessarily nerfed or buffed,
but Ice Frog.
I know you're watching because we're awesome.
He is watching. He texted
Give
me.
us back our techies. put them back into the captain's mode, and let the troll reign supreme. I think the game needs to be. They're going to add 2 more heroes. I get that, so it's not going to be complete, but complete what we got. Put them back in there. Let's roll with it.
Do you think Techies is pretty good right now? As is.
I think Techies is Techies. I think that Techies is not nearly as good as they were.
No.
Techies at the TI5 area were actually a pretty amazing hero. They were
just crazy. I think Techies does have a niche right now, especially when everything's push and anti-push, because Techies forces teams to really, 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 really evaluate what they know about the map. And he doesn't have a great win rate right now, but I think he's in a pretty good spot. So I think it's about time that we get all the heroes into the captain's mode so that we can release 2 more that won't be in there.
I don't disagree with that either. I actually still like Techies. I'm definitely not my Dota skills have changed from good old Dota 1. As much as I love the Techies, I've had almost 0 success with him in Dota 2. So
Techies are infuriating to play against, but man, did they make the games entertaining.
I've played with good Techies. I just myself have not ever played good Techies. So
I think it's a lot harder to beat a good Techies now with not being able to stay.
Tell you what though, those mines, I had no idea they gave you so much gold. Oh my gosh. We heard our shaman shouting about a mouse running out of his kitchen. He never said he left. I will leave a mango in the mid lane. Guess he found dinner. Once he gets it. Good banter. I love it. I can't remember. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I think LSC was very, very late to one of the games, and so they had to offer up. They offered up a Roshan as a random Roshan at any time, and the other team just they kind of took it to them after a crazy mid game, and they ended up taking a Roshan in a pretty key fight, and their LSC was like, "Oh, hey, there's your Roshan, right?" They all just kind of laughed. It was pretty funny.
Doesn't look like we're gonna get any smoke shenanigans this game.
No, early or
looks like Ricky's gonna try to sneak to the bottom one.
I think not Ricky. Sheepy's gonna. Oh, never mind. I thought he was gonna watch where this observer is getting placed, but he's just gonna place his own.
Ricky gets it.
He did.
Gonna watch Mr. Bones. I'm having way too much fun watching Sheepy versus Mr. Bones up here. Oh, got the shackles. Lots of pings. Man, their damages are about the same. Mr. Bones is out of mana though. He's gonna have to run towards the tower. I don't think Sheepy's gonna get it though. Mr. Bones is gonna have to probably waddle on home. So we have Tar Marana versus one of his best heroes, the Invoker. Which will be a little bit interesting to see how he plays this
They're
game.
just passing this mango back and forth. Off-lane Kunkka. That was definitely not what I expected for this hero. It's going to be really rough against Ziggity and Aegisworn here, as both heroes actually trade really good damage. High armor for the Void. And actually high armor for the Kunkka as well, so... But... It's going to be pretty tough.
I think you could do well there if you had someone you could leave alone in the safe lane and you could aggro try it, but by himself I don't think it's too good.
He got Gush and X level 1 and 2 too. Doesn't even want the Tidebringer to push the lane down anymore. He's just gonna soak experience and not really probably get a lot of farm.
Well, he's already kind of allowed this lane to get out of control with the 3 ranged creeps sitting there. Thought maybe he'd try for a little pull to the side, but instead goes for the Gush and tries to get some damage on the Ziggity. Mr. Peanut Butter was hanging out in that mid lane. He wanted that courier kill, but Tar not calling it out quite yet. Doesn't have the goal for the bottle.
Tar is so far commanding the CS charts. Giving the Math Debater some good right-click damage, though. The Mango is sitting sheep. He's waiting for that courier, but the courier's just sitting at base. Wants nothing to do with that bounty hunter. Kunkka's level 3 ends up going for 2 levels in the X.
Sheepy's got to be careful here. They've got a sentry down. The shackle does come out, and the sunstrike.
Ooh. Oh!
I get him. 30 HP.
Actually, Medusa's in a bit of trouble now. Should be okay. Snapped.
Oh, this Ricky gets it.
Oof. That
Ricky stops that bottle from coming out. The Tar.
Ricky waited a long time to get that courier kill. Boy, this top lane is kind of nuts. Good thing I have a mango. Oh. Tar's gonna get gone on though. Mr. Peanut Butter is here. Gonna start putting some ice. But man, that Math Debater's in deep trouble. Tar does go for and gets the first blood. Tar ends up with the first blood after getting gone on by Mr. Peanut Butter. And Kunkka falls shortly after that as well. Not sure how he got caught out there, but he did
timely bash plus cold feet.
So LSC takes 2 on the leaderboard early this game compared to last game. Snapped is just laying the battle hunger on this Medusa. Oh man, gets a really nice, and the Sunstrike not even needed. Axe gets taken down by the tower. Mr. Cheeseman and Mr. Bones get some gold off that. When did the tower get there?
We just got all kinds of banter going on here in this game.
So 2 for 1. Looks like we have some rotations come up here in the shrine. Snapped is gonna come back to the lane, but maybe grab some CS in the jungle first.
This bounty hunter is still level 1.
Yeah, just really hasn't been able to accomplish a whole lot either, unfortunately.
And
We'll grab level 2 there.
oof, nice worm bounce. Bounced a ton of health out of Snap. Down here at the bottom lane here. Gush is gonna get. Oh, actually, somehow hits the void. Ziggy's gonna time walk in and gets a bash. Cold Feet is not gonna proc this time though. Just a little bit off the mark. That Gush saving his life. Oh my god.
Career has respawned. Oh, I did get
Ricky's
upgraded.
sitting there waiting for it.
Ricky is just doing Ricky things here, trying to find the tar over there, but not gonna quite find it. Bounty Hunter does end up getting his level 2, so tries to find the courier himself, but nowhere near it.
And he's going to need 2 hits on it, even with Janata, so probably not going to happen with the flyer.
Does pop his last clarity. Doesn't really want to be too close. Mr. Bones does have a sentry. I think the sentry did expire. Yep, sentry expired over here. Oh, nice call on the Bounty Hunter. Snap is going to go in. Mr. Bones is going to fall. Or not, sorry, not Bounty Hunter. That's the Shadow Shaman. Walks across the corner and sees the Shadow Shaman just sitting there. So the Kunkka ended up getting 1 level of the Tidebringer now. Tar and Invoker are having a super close lane, except the Invoker's got 13 denies. Woof. Where's Medusa? Medusa's sitting 21 and 6. Pretty dang good on her part too.
Yeah, that first blood kill though was really huge for Tar. He's like they're pretty close to even on the CS, but he's got about a 600 gold lead on the Invoker, so sometimes that could be a little bit deceiving when you're getting kills and having good luck that way.
Oh.
Ooh, and Tar actually picks up a second kill there as Mr. Peanut Butter manages to die. And Ping's thinking that there's a sentry there, but if there was, it must have just expired.
Yeah, I did not see it there. Another sentry pop top lane, though, from Mr. Bones. Snapped is starting
So Tar's got 1,000 gold saved up. You think Midas? Doesn't have anything in his quick buy right now. Axe in some trouble.
Sunstrike? Sunstrike?
He didn't know where he was, maybe?
Yeah, no Sunstrike.
Didn't want to take a go.
Oh, Kunkka gets picked off in the bottom lane. Didn't see how he got so low, but I did see Ziggity pick the last hit off. And that's another 200 gold going his way.
Cold Feet and a Time Lock is a ton of extra damage on top of the 80 he already does, so it doesn't take a whole lot for this Kunkka to die.
Actually, targets picked off in the mid lane from Invoker. Well, I'm not sure how he picked that one off. Sunstrike looks like Tornado Sunstrike is in his queue, so Ricky might have been
He
setting
had
up
Cold
that.
Feet as well, so I think he Cold Feet, Tornado, Sunstrike, and that was that.
And he'll have his Midas here pretty dang quick. Mr. Bones looking for some poles. Doesn't quite get it, though.
It looks like Tar did not go Midas. He picked up some phase boots, and we'll go Diffusal next.
Yeah, I actually don't mind Diffusal this game, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Gives him some more right click.
That's like the pickup for this
Yeah.
game. I mean, I think that's the pickup in general, usually for Mirana now.
I just like getting Mirana more damage, and I think for her right click, I just think she's just so weak. I think
She's an
Diffusal
agility
does-
hero, so
yeah.
that's going to give her...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that's a good item for it.
Plus, with the Medusa in the game right now, I mean, it's pretty important to have that on her. Especially because it looks like Ziggity's going to go like Mask Madness build up.
Snap misses the call on Medusa. Medusa's going to come in, maybe try to give him a couple right clicks. Sheepy is in the neighborhood on one of his signature heroes, the Bounty Hunter. He got in a couple levels. He is level 4 now, so getting a little bit. Snapped is going to do some... Get stunned up by Mr. Bones. We get Shryukened up. Oh, man, there's all sorts of... nice Sunstrike. Mr. Peanut Butter was in the back line, going to help out if he needed to. And Aegisworm's actually a little caught out here. Mr. Peanut Butter will probably get procced by that cold feet. Yeah, he does end up getting procced up, and now Aegisworm's going to be able to get out of there. Aegisworm will have his ult up pretty quick, though. Midas is finished by Invoker, so maybe even 8.5 minute Midas. Wasn't really sure when he exactly got it picked up.
I think it was more like 9.
Oh,
and a solo kill.
Ends up throwing down the Chronosphere and picking off that Kunkka. That Kunkka is having a rough game. 0-3 and 6 last hits. Woof.
I mean, this is, you got to kind of understand that that's what's going to happen in this lane matchup. Is I think we talked about it. They didn't really want to pick something besides the Kunkka, but kind of felt forced into it by the Axe pickup.
Tar's going to find Mr. Bones here. Gets the double Starfall. Throws... Oh, misjudging the arrow. Sheepy is here, though. Going to probably get the Janata hit and the Shryuken to finish him off. And now Mr. Peanut Butter's in the neighborhood. Might be able to see the Sheepy. Going to get any reveal? No reveal. Mr. Sheepy's going to get out scot-free. Just had the mana for that Cloak Shadow Walk, though, so almost didn't make it out of there.
So this Void finishes up the Mask Madness here in a sec. Does he then just go into that Diffusal Blade to help with the Medusa?
Oh, nice ult from Aegisworm. What was the question there, Maniac?
Faceless just finished up his Mask Madness. Does he just go into that Diffusal next? Just to help with the... It gives him some good damage to farm with, and will help with the Medusa.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good way for him to go. It'll be interesting to see. You know, traditionally, like, Blink is a big thing. Manta's good. This game, actually, Lincoln's is pretty good this game as well. So, I mean, it depends on how comfortable he's feeling and how much they want to fight. If they want to fight early and just kind of knock this thing out, then I think Diffusal's the way to go. If he wants to be a little bit more defensive, he could go like a Lincoln's or a Manta. And Mittens have actually rotated 4 heroes down into this bottom lane. The Medusa all by herself in the top lane. Pretty dangerous. Ooh, Snaps takes a ton of damage from that snake as it bounces around there. Now Sheepy's running after her, but in the bottom lane, a 2-man Chrono comes out here. The Ice Blast will connect as well, so Aegisworm picks up the kill on the Kunkka. Ward's coming out all over the Void. He's silenced up by this cloud. He's trying to fight his way out of here. He's still silenced up by the Mask of Madness that time. Time walks out, and he is fine. Mr. Peanut Butter wanted the Aegisworm kill, but not quite able to do so. So Chronosphere and a nice Ice Blast able to turn that gank around, and a 4-man gank. Actually, it looks like the Invoker left, so it was probably like a 3-man fight there. Turns into 2 kills for LSC.
I think also just, this is very small, but I think there might have been a little miscommunication from Mittens. They had actually quite a few team members that were riding by that shrine, and a lot of their team members are actually low on health, and Invoker actually had full health and just went up for the mana. And I feel that was a little bit of a mistake there when really shrines don't do very well on mana regen anymore. It's really more for health, and I think that kind of killed his 2 allies. Nice, caught up on the Void here. Will it be enough though? Smoke is going to come out, and Sunstrike is going to be off the mark. And now Ziggity wants to turn this. You're going to start going on Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones is tracked up. I'm not sure he can do much. Medusa actually comes in here. Oh man, here comes the oh no! Did the Bounty Hunter get pulled back in? He did! X is going to mark this spot, and Bounty Hunter is going to go down.
Still, though, if you're going to give up a kill there, the 195 gold for the bounty hunter is probably significantly preferable to what Ziggity's going to give up.
Yes.
They want to go on to Ziggity here. He's sticking around pretty low.
Sunstrike will be up here fairly soon. It is available again. He's almost maxed out Exort, so that is going to do a ton of damage if he's able to land it. Could be trying to bait out a Chronosphere, too. Knowing that he doesn't have a lot of health.
As good of an early game as LSC has had, this game feels eerily similar to the last, in which there's not really been a big lead built up here. As Tar's going to actually jump into 2 heroes, and I feel that was a misclick.
Yeah, that was a very aggressive aggressive leap there. I don't think that's really what he was expecting.
I think he meant to turn around and then leap, but just didn't quite turn all the way.
Looks like we might have a fight up here this top lane. Snapped is getting beat on by the Invoker. He did have someone beaming. Aegisworm did beam in. Not much of a defensive support, but he can come in with an Ice Blast to kind of maybe scare off Team Mittens a little bit. Mr. Bones has an ult, but no mana for it yet. Here comes the Bounty Hunter. Actually cancels his TP. Not going to come in here. Pings do come out. Looks like they're just going to give up this tower, though.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, I don't think they can afford to take this fight with no blink on the axe.
Oh, Mr. Bones, he's going to be in big trouble here. That should be a dead Shadow Shaman. Tara's ended up coming in here. Maybe try to get a couple clicks on Cheeseman. Cheeseman is on the run, does have his shield up. I heard a Chronosphere on the back line, ends up getting nothing. Ricky does follow as well. Try to go for the axe, but axe ends up getting away. So 2 heroes down for Team Mittens.
Ziggity trying to throw out the Chronosphere to pick up the Ricky as he was invised out and walking away, and totally whiffs on everything. Ended up ticking down to the Battle Hunger, but unfortunate use of the Chronosphere from Ziggity. We don't often see the fail chrono. And Maniac, it looks like you were right. He does have his first Blade of Alacrity, and he's got the Diffusal queued up here. Somewhat interesting is the build on Medusa right now. Went phase into Dragonlance. Really wants to fight early, not going for like that farming build that you would kind of traditionally see with like Boots of Travel or Midas or something. It's going to get blinked on here. The first reveal of that, and ends up getting a kill.
Yeah, really good initiation from Axe there. I caught the very tail end of that. And now, oh, here comes the Ice Blast. Going to get another, and the Ice Blast hit. So is the Sunstrike, but not nearly enough damage. Oh, but we have lots of rotations here. The 2 supports are going to pick up another kill. Track does come out in Mr. Bones. I don't think anything else will come out of it. Sheepy is not going to have any amount to do much about. Ziggy does time walk in. I think Mr. Peanut Butter thought he was spotted out there, but they don't have anything to see him right now. Not over there, at least. Master Debater is going to get some nice damage on this tower up here. Going to start doing the Alacrity Forge Spirit game. Shh. Ziggity gets hexed up by Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones is going to take an Ice Blast to the face. Arrow's going to miss, but Tar's going to come in, do some right clicks, finish him off. And now Kunkka's going to come in. Does not get the X, though. Not quite. I don't know if he wasn't in range or what. Oh, but guess what? Mr. Peanut Butter's here. Now all of the burst damage is going to come here. Ship's going to land. And Smoke's going to come out, preventing the leap. Will he get the leap? He will end up getting the leap. He's going to get out. Chrono is available. Going to start laying into this Ricky Maru. Arrow to follow up. That'll be a dead Ricky Maru. Medusa's going to lay down the ult, but there's no one really watching her right now, so she's not going to get much out of it. X does come back out for Zili, but he picks up an Invis-Rune, and he's now just going to walk away.
Tar may be panicking a little bit there with the use of the shrine a little bit early, and definitely making the classic mistake. What does Mathman always tell us about buying from secret shops there, Sequoia?
You should always do it.
You should never buy from the enemy secret shop. especially when you've got the tier 1 tower sitting right there.
But Legion, I can put a ward there as the 5 support and get an easy ward up too. Oh, and then over here in the top shrine, Invoker
Mr. Bones
gets
in
caught
some
out.
trouble here.
Heroes.
Throws the wards down, hoping to get that kill, but Aegis Warren has been on point with these ultimates.
Hey, I don't think I would call him underrated because he was pick up a lot in the international. Maybe underestimated. You forget just how good this hero can be in the right situations, and I think this is just one of those classic situations. He's just a really good hero for this lineup.
Yeah, I think the two situations where AA is good is when you have a lot of like big AoE like
Stuns,
so like the Call and the Void, Chronosphere, or if you've got like a hero that needs like regen, so Huskar, Alchemist, something like that. But other than in situations other than that, he becomes this like walking creep that throws out an Ice Blast every once in a while,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
there are definitely games when you play Ancient Apparition where you're like, all right, guys, like I'm just gonna sit in the fountain and throw out ults because I'm just gonna die constantly.
Well, Sheepy didn't used to be able to one-hit the courier, but he sure can now, and ends up picking away the courier after it drops off some items for Kunkka. Kunkka's gonna end up actually going for the Guardian Greaves. I don't know if that's the build. Or no, sorry, that was not Kunkka. That was I was gonna say that was really confusing. No, that wasn't Kunkka. That was the Bounty Hunter, which makes a heck of a lot more sense.
Yeah, it looks like Kunkka's gonna go crit potentially, maybe like.
I think Sheepy is going to get... Oh, yep, here it comes. He thinks he can kill the Kunkka. Doesn't realize that Mr. Peanut Butter's here. But, oh, the arrow's actually quite a bit off. Ice Blast. That's going to be a decent-sized Ice Blast. It's going to just nick the Kunkka, but more than enough damage with Snap's call in. Ends up getting the boat on Tar. Tar's going to pause the game. Invoker has a Cold Snap Meteor invoked up. And, oh, poor Tar is not even in the game. What a time to DC indeed. So Snap's Blink is going to be on cooldown. Sheepy has nothing to really give over there.
How do you feel about Tar going back for that Scepter? Do you like that, or would you rather see him go Manta, which will give him more damage, and it'll help take that shield away from the Medusa?
I think that the build right now, in the pro scene especially, but I think the most effective build is the physical DPS. So I would have liked to see like the Manta, even potentially like a Blink Dagger. I think would be a little bit more effective.
Man, Ziggy might have overstayed his welcome here and ends up dying. The tower actually ends up getting him, so the bounty will be split among heroes.
Honestly, actually, now that I think about it, you know the item that I think I would have preferred to see over even the Manta is as Aegis Warren is dead. I would have liked to see the Hurricane Pipes come out with the Rikimaru cloud, like being able to get out of that cloud and then leap away. I think would have been. I think that's.
Yeah, I think that'd be really good.
Yeah,
the best item situation.
That's probably my favorite item in the game, even though I know it's not always very good on cores. I just absolutely love it. It's even better when you have the Rikimaru Cloud, which is at level 2, so he'll probably start skilling that more, and that miss rate goes up to 70% at max level, so definitely don't want to be in that when you're a heavy right-clicker.
On the other hand, it does look like Ziggity is going to go for that Manta style, so he's got that queued up and on his way to that.
Yeah, I think the idea is probably Chrono, Manta, and just beat down at least one hero, potentially even two. Arrow's going to fly, not going to see anybody. Ward will be de-warded by Mr. Bones. They know there's a sentry up there now. Sheepy's going to grab some bounties. Snap is actually going to look for a kill on Mr. Bones, and I think Mr. Bones is a dead Mr. Bones.
Is Mr. Boned.
Ah, dang, I should have said that. Ah, fail. Sunstrike is actually going to go down, beat down on Aegisworm there. Aegisworm is going to get up, getting the Ice Blast off. Sheepy's going to start beating down the Invoker, hoping to actually keep him off. Will it be enough? Invoker's going to go swag out. Really nice ship from Kunkka here. Invoker is still in just a ton of trouble, though. Battle Hunger is going to get on him. I don't know if it's going to be enough to click him out. The Axe is going to start going in on the Kunkka now. An easy kill with the Blade Mail. Ricky's going to be bouncing around. Actually ends up getting a beat from the Axe when Murano's going on, or not Murano, when Medusa's going on him. Tar is very brave here, getting some nice CS, but Medusa's so slow. He's able to kind of kite Medusa around. Worm does going to go out. Not going to do a ton of damage to Tar. Oh, not quite ready on the Cloud, though. Sunstrike did go down, but it was actually uphill. I don't even think that would have hit Tar if he would have continued to go. So now Tar is probably going to be okay. Reinforcements did come in from the Shrine. Shrine is available. Tar will pop it. Mr. Peanut Butter is really brave going uphill there. And he's going to watch Tar heal up, and that's about it.
Invoker did survive through that, though. Snap went for him and missed the dunk on him.
Oof. We have Miss Sunstrike on here on Snapped. However, he is cold snapped up. Probably going to get some. Yep, that. Tracks go down, but not going to save his friend. Actually, nice Ice Blast. I don't think Sheepy can commit. Oh, he is going to fire a Shoryuken. That's not going to be enough, though.
And if he could have maybe got like a Janata hit plus the Shoryuken, he potentially could have gotten in there. But
oh, Aegisworm, you owe your Tar some of your life there. Oh, Sunstrike's going to miss. Tar helping his friend out, saving him big time there.
Yasha picked up by Ziggity is going to be delivered here now in a second. So he's got a Chronosphere up. They could definitely do some damage here. There are still 2 outer towers remaining, or 3 outer towers, excuse me, remaining.
Oh, Mr. Bone, you're tracked, my friend. Tornado's gonna miss, but it doesn't matter. Now Math Debater's actually pretty well caught out here. Meteor does come in there, just wow, does a ton of damage to Sheepy. Arrow is gonna connect though, and Tar will get the kill on the Invoker. Looks like Kunk is going to come in, maybe try to get the X, but not even close to in range, and Tar is just going to... Yeah, oh wow, actually that Gush was way closer than I expected.
Yeah, and while this is going on, it's just space created for Ziggity. He's down bottom, he's farming, he's killing this tower solo. I mean...
Oh, Kunkka, you overstayed your welcome. Tar came back for some vengeance. Said, you scared me, but now I have my friend snapped here, and we're going to take this tower. We are going to take your Tier 2 tower as well. Cheeseman's going to try to defend it. Actually gets a nice hit up on Ziggity, but Time Walk. Oh!
He's actually going to go back in on this. He's got the Fusel Blade, so why not? This is a kill. Like, purges in once. Use your charges, bud. There it is.
Ends up getting a nice solo. Sheepy didn't quite get there for the track, but I think he's okay with that.
Medusa is actually overestimating the ability to go head-to-head with the Void. Like, sure, if you get the ult off, like, he has to go back. But if he gets the Chrono first, like, you're just dead because he burns all your mana and you can't ult and you just... That's it. Mr. Bones, what are you... Mr. Bones just feeding at this point? He's walking into the creeps here. I don't really know. Does anybody... Is he DC'd? No, we turn around and Hex. Hex comes out.
Oh!
Not quite enough.
Sheepy's gonna go in.
Going for this.
He's gonna... Oh, he's gonna actually commit the ward. Sheepy, he's gonna mech. No, oh, he is X'd. Is he gonna try to TP yet? Nope. Kunkka is gonna come in, smack him once. No sight.
I think he can go for this.
He can actually probably get the kill. Shoryuken. Oh, and ends up getting the track kill off of it too.
Invoker actually buys back in this game. He has to because the top lane here is being pushed out.
Sheepy is just hanging out in this forest. He takes so much damage. Oh, and Mr. Peanut Butter comes and takes... Oh, actually doesn't end up getting the kill. Oh my gosh, this game is just kind of silly at times. That is classic Sheepy, though. Just runs in the middle of the enemy base.
And again, like, this game was pretty close for the first, like, I mean, it was really close for the first 15 minutes. It was pretty close for the first 20. And then in that time period since, in that 7 minutes since, we've jumped up to 15K on both gold and experience leads. So, you know, LSE sometimes has a little bit of rough go in the beginning, but when it comes time to execute their plan in their draft in the mid game, they are very, very good at it.
Tar has queued up the butterfly next.
I think Ziggity found another target. He is going to miss the tornado. X is about. Lots of AoE damage. I don't think he's going to get out of this really nice Ice Blast, but there is not much follow-up. Tar did get the arrow and Invoker, though. He's going to defusal him up. Track is available. Ghost Walk X is also, again, available. There's all sorts of Xing going on. Mr. Bones pulls down a sentry so you can see what's going on, but guess what? Tar's just going to right-click him down. Kunkka's going to follow it next, and that's 2 kills going to LSE for the Void.
It's a relatively even fight, even though it's 2 for 1, as Ziggity is worth quite a bit of gold for the Dire.
There are 4 sentries in that one small area right there for Mittens.
Yeah, I think the one was placed because of the fight, but
Tar's going to go into
not
Roche.
ideal.
Tar is hitting insanely hard. He does have DD now, but even without the DD, he is hitting very nice. Almost actually has his butterfly. Gonna be really dang close. I don't think there's anything Mittens can do about this. They don't really have the
I don't even think they know
fight.
what's happening. 200 gold, and Tar will have that butterfly. He's calling for the push up into the top lane where that tower's down to about a 3rd HP.
Yeah, with Ages available, I think that is what LSC wants to try to take a tower.
And Ziggity's running around by himself here, makes the mistake, the classic Mathman mistake, walks into the enemy secret shop, and there are 4 heroes waiting for him there. It takes a Cloud, Shackle, Sunstrike, and Snake, but they do pick up that kill.
Oof.
And oh boy, is that a nice swing for them. 1,500 gold going their way.
Wow. A lot of heroes
tells you
around.
the state of this game right now. I mean, it really comes down to the off-lane Kunkka, right? Like, he was able to do almost nothing. The roaming Rikimaru has 800 more gold than the Kunkka does. Like, that's how rough this game was for him.
He died multiple times in the lane. Didn't really have any opportunity to CS. It was he wasn't set up for success by his draft and his team,
And you can kind of see the result of that in what's happened since.
I actually really like the support Kunkka quite a bit, actually, just not with the Riki.
Yeah, and I think that they were forced, like we said, they were forced into that by the axe, because
Oh man,
what do you do?
Kunkka is getting arrowed, blasted. I thought he X'd Axe. He X'd himself, but the arrow doesn't let him pull himself back. Mr. Peanut Butter is going to put down the ult, zone some heroes out, but it's just not going to do much. Tar is hitting so hard, they're going to start beating down this range tower. Sentry Ward does come out. This melee Rax is going to follow very soon after.
Ziggity's going after this Medusa mid. Oh, he might lose. He's going to lose that, though.
Medusa's going to have to beam back now, though. They already lost 1 Rax. They need her to come help them fight. LSC is just too strong.
Yeah, she had 40 seconds left on her TP when they were fighting top for that barracks, so she had to stay there.
And Tar just hits like a freaking truck.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
Marana may hit soft in the beginning, but boy, she's hitting like a freaking rocket launcher now. Looks like she's going to come back in, probably try to head up mid now with her team.
Choosing to upgrade that defusal next, which is pretty good.
Yeah, and
He's actually locked it up.
I was
so
gonna
that he
say-
can use that last
I was going to say the same thing. That's actually a really smart move. You buy the recipe, and then when you're out of them, then you can just unlock it, and then it'll gather up.
I don't know. At the same time, I don't know that he's going to have an opportunity to use 11 or 12, whatever it is, more defusal charges, so it might be just worth it to have the extra damage for the next team fight. I think usually, like, if the game's going to continue on, yeah, you want those extra charges, but
it adds a pretty significant amount of damage, actually.
Ooh. Oh, he ends up getting the Medusa. Snap's going to come in there. Tornado is going to slightly reset the fight, but the Medusa is going to be all out of mana. Ice Blast comes in. very dead Medusa on the top line. Wards do come out on Ziggity. He is going to get stunned up and taken down. 2 heroes down for Mittens and 1 down for LSC. What are we going to see now? Now we do have the Aegis come out from Tar. Medusa ult finally comes out after her buyback. Does have the Scotty up, starts beating into the team of LSC. Snap's going to come in, pretty much whiff the call. The Cheeseman is super deep, though, and he did have to buy back already. If he dies, he will be out for an insane amount of time. Invoker doing everything he can to help protect his teammate, but it's just not going to be enough. Invoker is just a one-man army. He's doing everything he can, but here comes Ziggity. Bought back and very angry, and then that is going to be a downed Invoker, and I think that will be it.
Yeah, there are no buybacks for the Dire here, so it's Kunkka all alone. I don't know if you guys noticed, he ended up dying anyway, but Ziggity actually Manta dodged the X, which was fairly impressive.
I did not see that, but that is...
It appeared that he Manta dodged the X. Maybe he didn't, but it looked like it did. Dude. I think at this point you just unpause and win the game.
Yeah, with only those 3 up and they still have Chrono, there is nothing they can do.
Chrono does come out. We're going to see Ziggity just start slaughtering heroes on Mittens. Ricky is the lone survivor. And looks like this series will be cleaned out by LSC, going 2-0 in this week 3 of the AD2L. I haven't actually checked the standings yet. They won the series I casted 2 weeks ago, and then there wasn't a series last week, so... And there's the GG from Cheeseman. So LSC, 2-0.
Looks like LSC with this 2-0 will go to 5 points. And it will depend on how PZR does against Team Entropy tonight. They are currently in first with 5 points. LSC is tied for third with Mittens, actually, for third place. So they will definitely leap over Mittens, potentially over PZR and Havarti as well, who have a bye.
Well, guys, it was great having you back. Glad to have some people around. Always a good time to have a party. I think that's it. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, thanks for watching. It was good to be back. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys, for Sequoia Maniac. Wow, for Sequoia, I'm going to talk in the third person. We are all about Dota. Later.